Publisher Connection Store. We're doing what we do. We love the funk for you. Nappy head. Nappy head. So take a chill, y'all, and listen to the band get ill.
What up, what up, what up, what up? Welcome to Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. Yo, man, I got to tell you, thanks to everybody that's tuning in that has supported this show for the past 4 years. We appreciate you guys. We love you guys. And today, this show is for you. This is a special one. This is the one that kind of solidifies and validates the Nappy Head Funk Army brand. And you can see right here, I'm rocking one of the shirts, right? So check this out. Today, we've been blessed to have as many of the OGs that could come through and hang out with us and tell their story, because we are being honored by David Webb and the Funk Chronicles Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center up in Dayton, Ohio, right? And that's going to go down March 28th on my birthday. But today is the official show, the official announcement that, we got in, we did our thing for the funk, underground with the peed all over as much as we could on the funk, kept it alive, did our thing for New York, up and down Long Island, did a lot of festivals up there. We did a lot of stuff to help keep the funk alive. Our longevity. What's up, Dr. Brookenstein? You down with us too. If we going in, you going in, bro. So check this out. Our longevity and our brand speaks for itself. We've been very, very blessed to still be able to knock it out. everybody, is doing well, except we did lose one of our funk members this past summer, and we're going to talk about our general, Mr. Carlton Collier. But other than that, we still all here. We still all grinding. Everybody's still making music. We're going to be introducing people. They're going to be telling their favorite Nappy Head Funk Army story, telling people how they got down in it. Thank you, Dr. Brookenstein. Yes, it's an amazing thing to happen, to be honored in the Funk Hall of Fame. And ironically, we wrote that song Fly on the Wall back then. And little did we know it was going to be, we were going to be a fly on the wall in the Hall of Funk. So that just goes to show how the universe works. It was the right time. It was the right place. We all got together on the right vibe. And we all kind of came together like a nice, holiday meal. Some people brought the mac and cheese. Some people brought the ham. Some people brought the ribs. Some brought the mashed potatoes and gravy. Some brought, the liquid beverages. Some brought the 420. Whatever it took, we all blended together, man. And this band was and is the best band that I ever had the pleasure of performing with, working with, bonding with, as well as some of the people that I'm working with now. Of course, the Nappy Head Funk Army 2.0. I love you guys, and your day will come. And also Tony Cameron, the Funk All-Stars. Yo, bro, if I'm going in, you going in. That's how it works. So, a lot of the times that we spent reflecting and reminiscing, you're going to hear, because we do that individually on the phone, but you're going to hear those stories today. I want to thank my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, and everything that he's done for the past 4 years. And you can look behind me and see over here, over this shoulder, right? One of the things that Curtis Wilcox did, and then up top, another one that George the Funk Vinci did. And of course, my guy Ken Frank sent me the collage of all the Funketeers. So believe me, all the Funketeers, all the fallen Funketeers, from my mother, my father, for everybody and anybody that I ever crossed paths with. My guy, Jeff Roberson, boom. Al down in Florida, Leroy down in Florida. Yo, we all going in. Because if one of us gets in, we all get in. It's the community that we're thinking about. Ms. Pat Deloria will be joining us later. Her band, Daughter Judy, and of course, everything that everybody else worked with, and Prez and Kevin. You'll get to meet all these people, man. They're all beautiful people. And we've actually been able to, maintain our friendships and our family ships, and maintain our conversations, and help each other out with music, and be able to support and also be able to promote each other's brands and music, and just our families and what we're doing. Kudos to Cynthia, she lost her sister, and Eric J, I love you for that, man. That's family too, but she's a Hall of Famer now. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in whoever is here. Mr. Mark Lee, whoever is here can come up, can get in where they fit in. I see Eric J is in the house. What up, Jay?
What's good, fam?
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging, man. I'm, making it do, making everything happen like I usually do.
Making everything happen like you used to do. Yo, man, so tell me. Yeah. I'm watching you spin up top, watching you do your thing, and you've been working a lot with a lot of the I call them pro school hip hop artists, Yeah. Y'all been doing a lot of concerts and everything, man. So kudos to you for that, bro. Kudos to you.
I stay tight with like guys from the first chamber of Shaolin and hip hop, man. Guys I know from the 70s. That really laid the foundation for everything that's going on 50 plus years later.
Yeah.
And we stood around and we joke about the old days too, because those days was something else, man. And not a lot of people was doing it in those days. And we watched it, expand from people's basements and the boys clubs and that kind of stuff. The Ecstasy Garage and T Connection and Bronx River. And all them kind of spots and the block parties, to being a worldwide phenomenon, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're thankful for that.
That's right. We're going to get into all things Nappy in a minute, but I can tell you when I knew hip hop was going to be around. I told people back then, right? I was doing a wedding band, and people wanted to hear this and that and the third. And then, I told people then, I was like, listen, man, things are going to change because the minute older adults hate something is when it stays. Like our parents hated rock and roll, you know what I'm saying? And then bang, it stayed. Some of them didn't really feel the funk vibe, then bang, it stayed. As soon as Muggs started saying, oh man, hip hop ain't gonna be here. I hate rap, I hate this. I was like, you just fucked up. I think now it's gonna stay because it's a revolution. So I just wanted to add that. But today is about all things Nappy, man, and all things funky with the Nappy Head Funk Army, and being able to have this day is special for me. So man, real quick, tell our listening audience how you just came about, because I'm gonna tell how I saw you in the band, but tell how you actually came about in the funk first before you even met us.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to say peace to Dr. Bruckenstein, man. Dr. Bruckenstein's been with us from like day one. He's been a soldier. So peace to you, Dr. Bruckenstein. Always love, man. I haven't talked to you in a while, but you know how we do. We get up, it's like yesterday. And I want to say thank you to my lovely wife, Cynthia, for holding me down, over the years. And she's been with us, and as a nappy head soldier too, and that's been a blessing for all of us in this situation. But, with the funk, man, I got started with the funk as a kid. My father bought a 45 of Parliament up for the downstroke.
Yeah.
And, I took that 45. I had a record player in my room, and you know how I used to put the record on the record player, and it would just play over and over again, get to the end, and the needle would come back and start over.
Yeah,
I played up for the downstroke for hours, man. That record just got to me. And then one day they threw a block party behind our building, and as we were leaving the block party, I heard "We Want the Funk" for the first time.
Right.
And that record blew me away, man, because it's the way the groove was, and then you had Bernie playing keys, and it sounded like a church, and then you had the voices, it sounded like a church choir, and it was all about the funk. So I got sucked right in, and then I became a real heavy fan then, and then in '78 they came to town, and my father took me to see them at the Palladium, man, and that was like. That was the One Nation Under Groove tour, and I was converted that night. I mean, that's all you couldn't tell me nothing else about P-Funk after that, because I was like, man, ain't nobody touching what these guys is doing. They on stage on roller skates, and they was just cranking, man.
Elephants.
So, yeah.
Spaceships.
Yeah.
Dolphins.
Yeah. So you start, I was a teenager, so you go out and you start buying album covers, the albums, and you sit there and you reading the album covers and all the science they were dropping on the album covers through the artwork and everything, and you're listening to the records, and George is feeding you with a lot of food for thought, and and all the songs was just crazy, and all the beats and the bass lines and everything. You couldn't tell me nothing about P-Funk, man. So I've been a fan of P-Funk for about 50 years.
Yo, man, let me tell you, and as we welcome in, who we got here? Oh, my guy, Kev. What up, bro? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Yo, you muted.
Yeah, I can't hear you either, Kev.
We can't hear you. Unmute. Let me try to unmute you.
All right.
You there? Yeah, go out and come back. Yeah, Kevin gonna go out and come back. But yeah, man, finish telling your story, man. Buying the albums.
Yeah, the album covers, man. Like when I bought the One Nation Under Groove album, you open it up and it's like all these words. You got to sit there and absorb all of that. So I would sit there for hours reading all that. And you look at the artwork, it's so intricate, and Pedro Bell would put stuff real small. You have to really concentrate and look at it and be like, man, this guy's he's dropping a lot of science here, man. So
I agree, man. We're hanging out today with Eric G, OG member now, Funk Hall of Famer. You can put that on your tag and keep it on your resume. So that's a beautiful thing. I'm still giddy about it, so forgive me. But yeah, man. It's funny because back then they used to always play, the P Funk or the music that they was coming out with, kind of like towards the middle or the end of the party. You didn't really hear it at first. And then you would hear this thing, and it was so different from everything else that they was playing. And only the hip DJs was playing it. And, at least in like where I was at, like most of the time when I was coming up on Long Island, there was one of few that knew about the funk. And that's who I gravitated to, And I was like, okay, you guys are, this guy, my drummer friend, Bobby Threadgill, and he's the reason why I got into drums, my hero from Bayshore, Long Island. Shout out Bayshore. He turned me on to, Mothership Connection. But ironically, before that, Tyrone Jenkins and Wayne Jenkins and their family had turned me on to America Eats is Young, right?
Yeah.
And bro, I'm gonna tell you something. And God's honest truth, I love that album so much, I stole it from them because they didn't know what they had. It was just sitting in the thing, dusty in the rotation, and they would rarely play it, right? So one day I said, Wayne, let me borrow your Funkadelic album. And he said, which one? I said, the one with the dollar bill, right? So he lent it to me. I just never gave it back.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah, I had records going missing out of my collection over the years, and it's not a good feeling when you realize your joint is gone.
You're right about that. And the thing is, I used to tell him, listen, you can come over and listen to it anytime you want. But they wasn't really into Funkadelic. They had just bought it because they lived in the city, and every time something new came out, they would buy it. When they moved to Long Island, we had to search and hunt for P-Funk albums. We had to go to like where the Black Towns were. I had to go all the way to Queens sometimes to buy a Funkadelic album. Because the record stores on Long Island, they was basically like just selling bullshit. They were selling good stuff, but it wasn't that, But yeah, man. So thank you, Wayne Jenkins. You're a big part of that, man. So when you were, hanging out and coming up, and where you from to begin with?
I'm originally from the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx, there houses, and we lived there from like 65 to 76. Then we moved to Mount Vernon. Okay. And that's when I really started getting into recording and performing and all of that kind of thing.
Right. So coming up in Mount Vernon and New York and everything else, man, obviously, we had access to all the clubs and all the things that we could as far as musical geniuses walking the street, When you and I first met, right? I had probably seen you a few times at the Wetlands, but you wasn't in Nappy Head yet. But tell us how you got into Nappy Head.
Well, it was funny because I remember you coming to Lola's, and I was performing with Solstice at that time.
Yes.
I think that was like the first time I met you.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, because I think at that time, John Purvis used to play with us too at that time. John floated in and out of Solstice too in that band. And he told me about y'all when the first gig came up at the Lions Den for George Clinton's birthday party. So, I wasn't a member of your band or nothing like that. I just came down there because it was George Clinton's birthday party, and John was playing with y'all in Nappy Head, so I got to see y'all first hit.
Wow! And, I don't even remember meeting yet. Wow, that's some deep stuff.
Yeah, I didn't meet nobody in the band, nothing. I was just in the club chilling. I had to leave like around. Oh man, I think I left like 10 after 1 because I had to catch the last train back up the way because I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
And, that's how I make my paper. They ain't going to stop me from making my paper. So after I left, they said George came in and everything. And I was like, oh, man, if I had to go to work, I could have met George that night.
Yeah, he did get there late. He was coming from at least 3 other parties.
Yeah. Because that was his actual birthday. It was July 22nd.
Yes, it was. That's right. That night was surreal because we first of all, it was man, what's the brother? Craig Ajamu?
Yeah.
He asked me that like 3 weeks before that, like would I like to play for George Clinton's birthday party? And I was like, yeah, man, for sure. I was like, but I don't have a band. I thought he meant play with him. And he's like, no, man, can you put together a funk band? And I was like, yep. I didn't even know if I could or not, but I wasn't going to turn down that opportunity, right? So, George, like he was always, of course, him and Bootsy and Bernie, they were always like on my wall, like I was looking at these people like, damn, these are my heroes, right?
Yeah, they were my, well, yeah.
So I asked Gary, the original bass player, and John Purvis. I had knew him from hanging out with Vince, the bass player in Staten Island when I moved there. So I had asked Gary about it, and then we knew Judy because Judy, myself, and Gary and this guy named Andy had played in a cover band. So I knew Judy could sing. And then Daryl Johnson, unsung hero on keyboards, right? I asked him, right? So we put together a little set, and we was opening up, and then also the Clones of Funk was second, and then Funkin' was third. So that was the lineup. So we were just grateful to be on that lineup, man. And I was like, it don't get no better than this, No and I got a picture that we're gonna show later from that night with me, like photobombing George,
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I remember. You tell your story when you finally actually sang with us for the first time.
Well, I'm not sure how much more time after that, but y'all were gigging at the Elbow Room, and John Purvis called me up. He said, "Yo, man, I want you to come down, man, and sit in with this band, man. It's right up your alley. You'd be perfect for this band." And I was like,
you know what though? It was before that. It was in the basement of Wetlands.
Nah, that was after that.
That was after that?
That was after that.
Okay. Wow. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so I came down to the Elbow Room, and it was like two opening bands that was, rock bands playing. And on the second, they had a second floor. And John said, "Yo, come upstairs, check out this other band." And it was just a band up there just playing like straight up funky grooves. And then he said, "Yo, man, the guy that's like the maitre d' of the club, he jumps on stage with them and he starts doing some things sound like James Brown." So we were checking it out, not knowing this guy was going to be one of my in-laws. A couple years later, that was kind of ill to figure that out years later back. And then there was time for Nappy had to go up. So I went up and John introduced me to you, and you was like, "All right, man, we're gonna set you up over here next to the drum riser, and sing the parts that if you don't know the parts, don't sing nothing. If you know something, just join in. And I got a bag over here with a whole bunch of hats, man. Play these hats." All right. I was like, "All right, cool." So I remember the first song was I think "Fly on the Wall" or something like that. And no, Funk 'em if they can't take a joke.
Wow.
I started doing the chant, and I just fell right in. I was like, "Yeah, I can do that."
Wow. See, now I don't. Wow. See, now you're telling me something that I even forgot, bro. Because yeah, man, I remember because I didn't realize John played with us at the Elbow Room in the beginning.
Yeah.
For some reason, my Elbow Room memories only start with President Everybody Was There.
Okay.
I forgot that. Wow. That's great. That's good to know. I'm glad you archived that for me, bro. That's good to know. Because all I remember, right? You just hanging out on the side of Wetlands, and I was like, "Yo, come up here." That's what I remember.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, that was even a little bit more down the line.
That was down the line.
Yeah, because I did this first hit with y'all, and I was set up right behind John Purvis, and you had Kev playing drums, you had Gary on the bass,
right,
and John Willis was on the other side of the stage playing guitar, and you had Prez and Eric playing keyboards, and that other brother was singing on background too.
Fred.
Yeah, Fred. He sang background as well, and it was you and Tanya up front. So,
Right. Okay. I'm trying to see what this thing is. Mark, do you know what that is that was on the screen? I'm sorry. I don't know where Mark is, my producer. All right, we good, bro. I'm trying to see what in the world. Love something. Oh, Ken Frank, he did a comment. I see. That's what it is. Thank you, Ken. Appreciate you, man. Yeah. So wow, that's some deep stuff because I kind of at that point wasn't sure if we were going to sustain anything. Yo, Mark, you back there, bro? I'm trying to get this comment off that Ken Frank got up. I don't know why it's stuck up there on the screen. I don't even know what that is. But anyway, if you could pull that off for me, that'd be dope. I know what it is. I know where it's from. Hold on. Let me block this out. Just give me 1 second, y'all. Hang out real quick. Sir Nose is always going to try to wreak havoc when something really cool is happening. That's just what he does. I'm serious, bro. That's what he does, man. I'm telling you right now. All the time. You know, whenever something cool is happening, Sir Nose be trying to get in. So tell me, man, when we first started, you know, doing it and everything, did you think that we would actually end up here today?
Nah. Nah, man. You know, I don't have a crystal ball, nothing like that, man. I'm just, you know, it's just weird to be, you know, in a place where they want to recognize you.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful thing. I think that, you know, over the years, we've all been trying to hold down the funk, right? And, you know, as much as we've all been blessed to continue to do it all together and still be able to, you know, pat each other on the back and, you know, be able to, you know, keep the funk alive and be able to, you know, I still don't know what this is. I'm sorry. I apologize to my audience because I don't know why this is still there. It shouldn't be there. Do you see that, Eric J?
No, I don't see that.
You don't see the Facebook love Ken Frank thing?
No, I don't see that.
Well, then that's good because all I know is it's in my way. Right? I'm good with it. It's cool. But it's in my way. I don't know why that's even stuck there. But, you know, just to be able to continue to still do it. Yeah, Mark, I know, but the comment is still in my way. He gave me love. I see that. But if you could pull that. So for some reason, it's stuck on my screen. So I can't enlarge my screen and, you know, I can't. So it's acting really weird. So I don't know what that's about. You know, like I said, Sir Nose is always trying to mess with things. And we was waiting on Kevin. Kevin had went out and tried to get back in. So we're waiting on him. And whoever else can actually tune in would be great too. But we're hanging out with Eric J, OG, you know, a.k.a. designated hitter for the funk. You know, and we appreciate this brother coming on, his longevity with the Nappy and Funk Army. You know, he's been a true funk soldier forever and forever and forever. So, you know, we're going to definitely give kudos to him and kudos to, you know, everybody else that can make it. And I got a list of people of names I'm going to run down. We're going to do a special shout out to our guy, Carlton Collier, man. Tell us real quick, how did you meet Carlton?
Oh, man, because I can't remember exactly when you brought him in. But, you know, it's like the first time he played with Nappy Head. He was holding it down, and plus he had a Mutron, man. So, you know, it took it to another, you know, gave it a whole nother real boosty sound, you know. That, you know, Carlton was nasty on the bass, man.
Yeah,
you know, I had bad love for Carlton, you know. And you know, I remember him saying to me one time, he said, "Yo, Eric, man," he said, I know the band is really cooking, man. When you take a break and stay on the side of the stage and smoke a cigarette." He said, "I know we smoking then, man." I said, "Wow, Carlton, you know, good looks, man." You know,
that when we first put that the second coming of the Nappy Head Funk Army together, you know, it was amazing. Hey, yo, Mark, you back there, bro? Pop on for a second, man. I got to go out and come back in. My screen is jacked. You back there, Mark? All right. I'm going to tell him I got to pop out and come back in because something is messing with my screen, and I know it's only Sir Knows, you know, because I know how devoid of funk acts. This is a devoid of funk act. You know, it's totally like a Facebook thing or something. But for our audience out there, as long as you can't see it, I'm good to go. As long as you can see me, I'm good to go. When we first started to perform, it was so many great bands. You know, John Willis had his band. You had yours. Prez and Pearl was always playing with everybody, and it was amazing to go to Wetlands, the Izzy Bar. Remember the Izzy Bar?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, I played the Izzy Bar with Dave as a band called Butter. We were there like once every month, something like that, for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, the Izzy Bar. For these places, that actually, we're talking about. They were the underground places, the Elbow Room, the Red Lion, the Lions Den, the Izzy Bar. These were places that, besides CBGBs, that bands cut their teeth. They can actually go there, work on material, meet other people, stuff like that. So it was an amazing time to be an original, musician. The BRC was standing, coming hard, and it was just an amazing time, man. Tell us some of your better Nappy Head Funk Army stories.
Oh man, I can remember nights, man, like when Prez be doing the solo and keyboard stand would break and the whole setup would hit the ground, and he would stay in the pocket and not lose beat or nothing. He still have his solo going on, man. There's some real soldiers in this band. No matter what it took to get it done, we got it done. And I was just happy to be there, man. It was, because I came on board, just as a backup singer, and became like one of the main characters that people used to like. So, I was just out there having a party, having a good time, and we made a couple of dollars doing it too.
Yeah, Pickens was slim.
Yo, you remember that night that Prez's keyboard stand fell? And
yeah.
And he hit the ground and kept the beat going and did not lose nothing. Unbelievable, man.
Yo, there was a time I remember, like, at the Elbow Room especially, we didn't go on until like 1:30, 2 o'clock. We used to play till like 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
I got a picture of you hanging out at the Elbow Room, and we used to call it the Aftermath because remember we used to have those poppers and parachutes and all the crap we was throwing out. And the lady was like, yo, I like your band, but you give us too much shit to clean up after.
Yeah, it was like Mardi Gras when we played.
Every gig we wanted to have a party, man. It was when I first, and again, I have a good memory, but I don't remember how half the people, their first gig. Like, I don't remember Carlton's first gig with us. I just know that I needed a bass player, and I think Prez might have recommended him. And Prez said, oh, yeah, this guy Carlton can play.
Yeah, I really don't remember his first gig coming in because he just seemed like he was there for a long time.
Right, he was always there, yeah.
It's like, when it's like Gary kind of like fell back and Carlton just was there.
Yeah.
I don't remember how he joined the band or anything like that. I just remember him just always holding down that bottom like he did.
Yeah. Same. Because I know Gary was a caregiver for his mom, and his mom got ill. Rest in peace, Dorothy Bordes. That's why he had to fall back. He really wanted to play, because I used to talk to him all the time because he was the OG. But he had other responsibilities to take care of, and kudos to Gary's for that. But I remember just looking at Carlton. And he was always tripping over stuff, right? I loved it to death. And I said, Carlton, why are you tripping over stuff? Because I'm clumsy. I was like, I said, all right, as long as you can play, right? But when we were cutting our teeth, do you remember that little tiny room on Sunrise Highway in Baldwin?
Yeah.
Where this old lady came in one night. And we had our dog tags, and I gave her my dog tags.
Yeah, you and John. John.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah. And
that place had some magic in it.
Yeah, I remember us playing Knee Deep in there and killing it, man. It sounded just like the record, man.
Yeah. One thing I can say about all the musicians, top notch, of course, of course, worldwide, travelers and things that they've done. I was fortunate that everybody kind of wanted to blend in and do it and just be a part as opposed to be the main character, because really we could all be main characters in our own story. But in that thing, we all just had to be, supporting characters. And it seemed to the creator of the universe, the spaceship brought us together at the right time.
Yeah, man. Everybody played their position well, like a baseball team, and fun, man.
Yeah. Yo, Mark, are you back there? Yo, what up, Ken? I got you, man. Thank you, man. Man, love it. I got your poster right over my shoulder here. Mark, you back there? Because I want to start popping up some of these pictures. I guess people will pop in if they can. If they can, it's cool. They can go back and watch it, man. I know Kev tried to get in. Forgive that ambulance going by. I'm on kind of a major street here. But, let me see where Mark is back there. I think he's having issues, too. Sir Knows really trying to mess this show up. But we ain't going to let that happen because it's too much positivity and too much funk. What I'm going to do while we're waiting and hanging out, right? And for those of you tuning in, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys. You guys have been major supporters, of what we do. And, I can't thank you enough for supporting Funk from the Front Seat and supporting our brand and Nappy at Funk Army. And, yes, David Brooks and Ken Frank, thank you so much, man. You guys are a huge part of the Funk circles, man. How did you meet Brooks?
I met Dr. Brookenstein at the Elbow Room.
Oh, that night?
Yeah, because
he
was down front the whole time.
Yeah. One thing I like about Dr. Brookenstein, his honesty with the reviews, because that always pushed us to be better, Because, when you're first coming out, you're going to have some pitfalls and bad nights and things like that, man. So when he used to send me reviews, I was like, yeah, man, cool. That's exactly what happened. Oh, Port Jazz. Thank you, Dr. Brooks. I knew you would remember. I knew. That's the place I was thinking about on Long Island, Port Jazz. That place, we did some things up in there because they never expected that.
Oh, they didn't expect. They wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, and I ain't even gonna get into the funky fish to the second half of the show because there's some tales of the funky fish that I have to tell. But when we first started blending and cutting our teeth, it took us about 1.5 years to get right.
Yeah,
and then that third year, that's when we did the festivals, the Harry Chapin Theater, the Amsterdam Avenue Street Festival. That happened, when we had that little stint with Bette Davis and stuff. So that's when the band had really tightened all the screws and became a Maserati, because at that time we was a force to be reckoned with, even though we were in New York and Long Island. Like people used to come up to us and say, yo, man, y'all are doing stuff that I never heard before. We used to do Prince. That's how we met Gerard. He's like, oh, man, I only came to see y'all because y'all did Prince, and Sexy MF and stuff like that. And, and mix that in with our original stuff. All I know is when I was thinking about the recording process, looking back, I only wish that I had did more stuff at Kev's at the time, because he actually had that ear for the sound, but because he was in and out and came back later, and that's when we did Revolution, I missed that window. And that's one thing that I always regret, But other than that, man, I think it's been a beautiful ride that we can continue our brand. And we, as OGs, are not done yet. Let me check and see who else is down here on the bottom, because Mark is doing something, and I don't know where he is. Oh, who else? Oh, Pat's here. Miss Pat.
Hi. I just want to be a fly on the wall in the Hall of Funk. Thank you.
Kudos to you.
What's up, Pat?
What's up, Eric J?
How you doing?
I was listening on my way home from work.
Cool, yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. For you that don't know out there, our audience, Miss Pat Dioria, she was the very first. She's the OG, and now
got
she's
my tags.
There you go. Yo, that's what's up.
I still got my dog tags.
There you go.
Hey, Dr. Brookenstein.
And we ain't even done yet. We just getting started because we got more shit to do. That's why I keep telling you, yo, hang tough.
I know. I'm trying.
You are.
Life's been a trip so far, but
Hey, the journey. It's the journey, right?
It is.
So tell us, where you at right now? Where you living at?
I'm in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and yeah, it's good. It's like way out on the tip of Cape Cod,
Right.
and it's pretty cool. Unfortunately, it's rough for funk music.
Yeah.
They're all into like bluegrass and folk and like old mellow 70s music, and I'm like, so. But there's a couple of bands out here. We have a band called Funktopus. They're pretty cool.
Right.
But it's nothing like New York, you know.
Yeah. Don't we all miss New York, man?
Yeah.
Because down here, North Carolina, I'm trying to create a movement that ain't here. Even though George Clinton was born in Kannapolis, like, an hour away from me. But it's coming along. I'm working with Oak City Music Collective, and this is major, with David Webb and all of us, OGs, So tell us your story. Start with Daughter Judy, because I played drums for you there first.
Actually, I don't think so. I think I was still in Daughter Judy. I was trying to think when you guys were talking about all the shows and everything. I think I came down. I knew Pearl because we used to work next to each other in the mall at Green Acres Mall in Long Island when we were younger. And I didn't know he was into funk. And I was playing with Daughter Judy one night, and I saw him standing on the street holding a keyboard. And I was like, what? And he was like, oh, I'm playing a gig. And I was like, okay. And then I think he turned me on to the fact that you had a show at Kenny's Castaways, I want to say.
Oh, my God.
And there was another singer. There was a girl there. Like, a girl sang with you, but she wasn't with you very long. I think she might have done that one gig. And I saw you, and I was like, oh, I want to do that. And so I was still playing with Daughter Judy, I think, at the time. And then, I can't remember my first gig.
For you at the CBGB's gallery with Daughter Judy once.
Yeah, no, I think it was Wetlands we played at upstairs.
Was it Wetlands?
On that side room, it was me, you. That was 151. We called it.
Yes.
You, that was after Daughter Judy broke up. Eric Cavanulo was my guitar player, and Pearl was on keyboards. Okay. And we did some songs. We went in the studio and played some songs together. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
See, my memory's mush. Every day told me stuff. I'm like, really? That happened?
Who are you telling? Yeah.
So all I know is your voice of an angel, and David Brooks actually has that original CD that we recorded with our original stuff on it that I have to get to you, man. But your voice was always special to me. You had a special place in the band because you brought in that rawness, that Joplin. You were just such a different kind of spirit, and the band was growing and modulating into other things. And I just always appreciate your dedication to what we did. And then you came back when we were doing Port Jazz and everything. And all of that stuff, man, led us to today. So cheers. Here's to you.
Yeah.
Day and whoever else, man. So what do you think your reaction is to being a Funk Hall of Famer? Like, what is your reaction to it?
I love it because I did just want to be a fly in the wall of funk. That's awesome, and I learned so much about funk music. I think John Holohan from Daughter Judy, who was the drummer in that project, he was into P-Funk, and like that was kind of where I really started hearing a lot of it. And I was like, oh, who is that? Like, I mean, I knew the basic, like the hits and everything, and then, then I came down to your gig, and then I was like, oh, I got to learn all this music. And I was like, okay. And then I was just like mind blown, like it just wasn't in my windshield, and I wasn't seeing or hearing that on the radio. And I was like, oh my God, this music is amazing.
Yeah.
Like I knew James Brown and some other stuff and like the disco kind of funk, but not P-Funk. And I mean, I always loved Bootsy, but I probably, from like the fact that he played with D-Light on Grooves in the Heart. And I was like, oh, Bootsy's the guy from P-Funk. I was like, oh! Yeah. And it was just all such a great learning experience. And it was like music that just like I totally connected to. And I think my voice, oddly enough, sounded good with it. I didn't know if it would because I'm kind of like raspy and you know, and then I thought I was just going to be singing backgrounds, and you let me sing Cosmic Slop and Red Hot Mama, which was always fun.
Try.
What? I don't think that might have been Tanya. I think Tanya. Oh, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah, that was us. That's when Neil was in the band. Then Neil, I had to get him away. Remember Neil at the Elbow Room? Hazel?
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, we did a version of When Doves Cry. Yeah, remember him? I was like, Neil, you can't be assaulting my band members on stage.
That was funny.
Yeah,
Kevin.
he had some games back then.
There go Kevin.
You can hear me now.
Yeah, we can hear you.
He did.
You hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, you in, Kev?
Yeah.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How's everybody?
I'm all right, man. We're hanging out today with some OGs from the Nappy Funk Army, Eric J. Of course, Miss Pat Dioria, you know, and your artwork is always, you know, prevalent and around. And of course, you know, Kevin Harrington, man. So Kev, we were just sitting here kicking it, man. Tell us a little bit about, you know, who you are and where you come from, bro.
Oh, I'm a native of Jamaica, Queens, New York. Funkin' for Jamaica. The drummer,
Nice.
multiple instruments, you know. That's who I am. Now I'm a G-Dad. That's how long I've been here. I'm a G-Dad now.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Longevity, like Martin Luther King said, longevity has its
right.
Look at us. See, here we are. We all still here, man.
I think we all look good.
Yeah, we're going to pay homage to Carlton. As soon as my producer, Mark Lee, comes back from doing whatever he was doing back there. Sir Nose was messing with this show the whole time, but it's all good. So, Kev, we was talking about that glorious time, BRC, Wetlands, you know, CBGBs, Elbow, Izzy, you know. Tell us your feeling about that era of when everybody could just connect musically and spiritually.
Well, it was great times. I know that. It was an innovative time. And I don't know, it's something that's never coming back to New York. I know that.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So we were blessed to be in that era because the musicians that came behind us, they're never going to get that.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's never going to. And, you know, and again, it makes us sound like the OGs because we'll be talking about it.
It's like you kids just don't understand.
Right. You know, and again, I don't think it has anything to do with music. It was more economics where the places were closing. You know, you go to the Village now, it's nothing like, you know what I'm saying? Again, you sound like the OGs, it's nothing like when we were coming up.
Nah.
You know, when we was doing our thing, it's just not the same. You know, I mean, depending on how old they are, they don't know nothing about 48th Street. Something as simple as that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like to go on a block and nothing but music stores and all the stories and people that, you know, celebrities you met and stuff like that. They ain't gonna know nothing about that.
Yeah.
So you know, I'm grateful to be, you know, at the time, you know, everything was going on. 30th Street, whole building and nothing but studios, you know.
Ultrasound, yeah.
Right.
Yo,
Daily Planet, you know. You go in there, Patrice Russian's coming out. You know, that type of thing. We ain't never gonna see that again.
Yeah.
I think that inspired us to be, you know, because everybody here on this panel right now, blessed in a tremendous way with the gift of music that we are obligated to share some way, somehow, some fashion and form. You know, and like you said, man, I remember, you know, going and seeing Dennis Chambers like right next to me. This is impossible.
Right. Someplace like the Bottom Line and stuff like that, man. You know, all that's just gone. I mean, you just walk and you really just show your age. Like, oh, I remember when this used to be here and this used to be here, and you know, tell stories. And I'm glad to have the stories to tell.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm saying? Right. If I was one of the younger ones now, I'd be upset. I go, man, I missed it. I missed it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you real quick. I know you're sporting your apparel. What does that say up there?
Oh, it's just KHX.
Okay.
Seven
And
acting
that's part of your
experience.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
For those of you watching, everybody up here got their brand, Aquarius Rising Art. Of course, Pat, I'm constantly promoting you every week. I shout you out. You
Aquarius
got all
Rising
the different
Graphics.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I got you,
Yep.
man. And, Eric J doing his thing. And see, I don't know how we all kind of melted in that pot of nappy head, but all I kept thinking all along through my marriage, my divorce, my surgeries, it was always meant to be somehow.
Right.
And that's the spirit that kind of kept me going. All of you kept me going. So thank you, man. That's why I'm honored to even honor us, because it's all about that.
Yeah. And Thea, I like to say I'm honored to have become part of Nappy Head Funk On, because I actually came at the end of everything. So, I got in there.
You can thank Ainsley, the church seat drummer, for that.
Drummer. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Where's Ainsley? Yeah.
You put your foot down, Kev.
Thanks,
When
man.
Kev came in, though, we went to another level. You and Prez and Andy, y'all came in at the end.
Okay. See, I didn't know how that went. I just knew that everybody else was already there. That I knew.
Yeah.
So
I tell you
didn't know
how it
long
went.
anybody had been there. Nothing.
I tell you how it went. Pearl couldn't play all the parts by himself. He said, "Yo, I got another guy that needs to be in this." I said, "Tell him to come to the gate," because you knew me. I was just like, "Just come to the gate,
Right.
just show up," And here's an interesting story. Mark Bass, when we started doing double bass, added a lot as well. So when the whole thing got rolling and we were able to sustain our 4 or 5 year period, and then, like I said, Miss Pat, you came back to do Port Jazz and stuff with us. That's when I kind of knew it was at its peak, because there were no more places to perform.
Right.
That's what hurt us back then. We couldn't travel. There was no budget. We literally ran out because the Funky Fish was getting ready to close. We literally closed that place.
Right.
And Long Island, we were doing festivals more outside. But thank God, even though Beth Davis screwed us around, we did the Amsterdam Avenue Street Festival. I'm so grateful for that one day. Pat, you wasn't there, but thank God the brand did that, because that was like a major thing that we could hold a large group of people in the Harriet Chapman Theater as well. And all back then we would have needed was the funding. That would have been it, funding. But
what was the room we did when we opened up for Vernon Reed and them? What was that room?
Oh, David Brooks would know that room. I forgot the room.
That was that was called the Downtown.
Yeah.
Oh, on Long Island?
Yeah.
They were sponsored by Sam Ash, so that made all the difference. So the back line was on point.
Right.
Yeah.
I played there, not with you guys, but that was a good place.
Yeah.
You know what, too? We also did it, now that you mentioned it, with Jen Durkin and Bomb Squad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I believe we did it with them first.
TBB, man. I love that band.
But you know what? I remember that night I had to play bass. Remember? Because Carlton couldn't make it. Gary couldn't make it.
Yeah, I remember that night. That
So I had to end up playing bass. And I remember standing on the edge trying to sing Dirty Van and play at the same time.
Damn, I wish I was still with you guys at that point, because I love Jen Durkin, and I think she's one of the best voices ever. She's so good.
Yeah. You see, you and Jen Durkin were like the same people, Pat.
We were similar. Yeah.
Kindred spirits.
I actually auditioned for Deep and Out of Blackout when she left. And I don't know what happened there. I think they just wanted to go a different way, and I sounded a lot like her, so they went with a different.
But you know what though? It wasn't your fault, because I tell you, with that band, it was a lot of politics. I swear to God, nothing against them. But there was some stuff going on that we didn't really know about behind the scenes, because they, from what I understand, now this is not me talking out of school. This is just the word on the street. They were upset with her when she went and sang with Bernie.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Every J would know. Every J would know. hold on 1 second, Mike. Okay, great. I know you're ready. Thank you. Right, Eric J? Because when she went, Bernie found her. He didn't take them. He took her.
Yeah.
So they got kind of, when she came back and wanted to still do stuff back and forth with them, they did it reluctantly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I know, because I had talked to her. Because I was trying to get her to do some stuff in the studio.
Yeah.
Right? When I had went and seen Bernie, I was like, "Oh, you with Bernie?" I was like, "Yo, can you sing?" Because I got Sheila. I was trying to get people different voices. So I think, Pat, that had nothing to do with you.
Yeah, well, it was disappointing, but like, I got to tell you too, though, when I went to see them, they were like, come to Connecticut. And I went to see their show, and it was just a packed house, and the whole crowd was just jumping up and down at once. And they were like, come on up if if you feel like singing. I was like, whoa, I honestly was scared. And, I was like, oh, damn, girl, you got to get your confidence. But it was intimidating because they really had it down. And I really liked that band a lot. And Jen was amazing. She was still singing with it at the time, but they were kind of transitioning. And they would let people come up and sing. It was fun. It was very much like when we would do a gig. Like I remember one gig, though, we played at Kenny's Castaways. And I don't know if you were with us yet, Eric or Kevin. And
I wasn't part of the band, but I was in the house.
Yeah, probably. And then we played, and the second band canceled, Zach, you remember this. And so we played for 3 hours, and I happened to decide to wear leather pants that night. Pleather pants. Because I couldn't afford the real leather ones. And I was soaked, we just jumped up, and I loved the energy that Nappy Head Funk Army always had on stage. And everybody was so good. The first time I saw you play, I wasn't on the stage. I just checked it out, and you did Unk Funky in the UFO, and it was the first time I ever saw Eric Wilson do that like funk face, and I was like, wow. And I was like, that is so good. And then you're playing drums, and you're playing bass, and you're singing, and we had the hat bag. I heard you guys talking about the bag of hats. Me and Tanya. And Tanya was awesome to sing with too. It was just so much fun, and I always loved it. And even though I love Daughter Judy and like wish that had worked out, it wasn't the same kind of just spiritually just letting go of everything. Like I didn't even feel like I was on the ground. It was awesome to sing. So
I remember Funky Tim too.
Yeah, Tim with his saxophone.
He's like, I play saxophone. I was like, get up here.
Yeah. That was fun. We gave him a hat, and we just put him up on the stage.
And you know what's ironic? He was a martial artist, and later on, John Willis came in, who was a martial artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He got me into martial arts a little bit. I wish I had kept up with it because you can't see it, but I've gotten a little wider over the years.
Beautiful queen, come on now, you're beautiful.
Hey, I earned every pound, so it was so much fun.
You're so much fun. Queen. And we ain't done yet. That's why.
No, I don't feel done. I don't feel done. So if anybody needs some vocals, let me know.
We're gonna be doing some stuff together.
I'm trying to get back to it. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it.
I'm working on the budget now. I really. Look who it is. Always coming from a gig. I'm sure. Drop down and give me 10.
Hi, honey.
What up, bro?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Drop down and give me 10.
Hey man. Hey man, I can't even give you 10. I can't even give you 1.
Give me that 1 then. I want it.
I said I can't even give you 1. I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm hanging in there, fighting a good fight. Actually,
I know you're probably tired. You gigged or whatever, man. So I'm sure. You play last night?
Nah, man. I was just chilling, but actually got a hit with Mark this afternoon. At 6, so I'll have to scoop him up. Probably leave to scoop him up around 3:30 or something like that.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So how you been doing? You all right?
Yeah, man. Just trying to keep the dream alive of no 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Ain't we all? Ain't we all, bro? But check this out. From this day forward, you a Funk Hall of Famer. So welcome.
So yes, sir.
And for those that don't know, these are the OGs as they pop in. And from our listening audience out there, man, thank you for joining Fun from the Front Seat. 9 on the Grind TV every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. A lot of these brothers and sisters have been on the show before in their own accolades, right? But this gentleman, Pearl, was kind of the key to open up that Queen's door. Because you were the one that started saying, hey, Prez, you knew Kevin. I don't know if you knew Carlton, because I think Prez brought Carlton. But tell us your thoughts first on that time of the era that we were talking about before we get into your Nappy story about the village and that era and how glorious things were.
I mean, yeah, it was a good time for live music, and there were a lot of venues that were open, like to, try to cultivate that whole scene. So, I mean, I was just kind of making the rounds, and then I met you, I think through Craig Ajamu, and
Yeah.
And then we did a gig at the Lions Den, where you had some like some P-Funk alumni, I suppose, or people that were related to some of those cats in some way. And John Willis had actually come to that gig out of support. Just to check it out, but it was it was a little loose, to say the least. But I mean, like, hey man, I guess the cats who were there, they had been there in one form or another, like with George and whomever was doing it, but they never got to that maybe that level that George was on, and they probably and once you get a taste of it, it's like, man, that's what I want to do. So they were hanging on by any means necessary. But I mean, it's all good, and once we did that. John saw it, and he felt like that he could be a part of it, and that was that. Then the story begins. I mean, because we had you were playing drums.
Yeah.
At that, you were leading it from the drum chair.
Right. Thank you. I don't get credit for that, but thank you.
That's not easy to do. Yeah.
Right. And so yeah, it was just I think you wanted to come out front, and then I think whatever, Kev came in so that you could come out front. I had spoken to Prez about it at the top of the game. It wasn't Carlton, it was Stro. But Stro's in Vegas now. I think he left Nappy Head to do that.
Oh, right. Wow, I forgot him. Wow. Wow.
Right. To do that sort of, I think he went to Miami first, and had some stuff happening down there at the Hard Rock Cafe, and then he went to Vegas, where he's now, in charge of some of the tribute act things. But when Stro left, then Carlton came on board, and
so that's how Carlton got in, because we was trying to figure that out. Okay.
Right. When Stro left, and because Gary, I guess couldn't make some of the gigs.
Yeah, he was taking care of his mother. Yeah.
Right. So that's actually how Stro was subbing for Gary, and
Right.
but then when Stro left, he still couldn't. He still needed a sub. So then Carlton came on, and then I think Kev went out on the road for something.
He did,
and that's
for a
how
long time, yeah.
That's how Ainsley came on board.
Yeah. It was mad cool how I used to just call you, be like, listen, I need this, I need that. You were like my what's that thing that delivers everything? Amazon. You were like, if you so cool, you're like, yeah, I may know a cat. How much does it pay? I may know a cat. How much does it pay? Those were your two things. Yeah, I may know a cat. How much does it pay?
All right. Well, that was those are the things that what does it pay? And
right. Well, thank you and welcome, man. Welcome my audience. For those of you just watching, my Nappy and Funk Army OGs, Eric J at the top over here, 718XA Dave, Patricia Dioria, Kevin Harrington over here on my right, on the bottom left, and Pearl. These are all amazing spirits, beautiful people. Got nothing to do with music. We could all be working in a library together or somewhere else or a bank or wherever. We'd all still and get together and have fun, man. I appreciate you guys. Mark, are you ready? Could you play that thing that Ken Webb sent first before we do pictures, please? I got to see if my producer, Mark, is back there. If you can hear me. Because I got a lot of old photos that I'm going to show, and then we're going to talk about Carlton a little bit too. Let me see where Mark is at. Mark is actually working on several shows at once, probably, I know too. So that's what he does when he's producing this. Yo, Mark, you ready? Let's can you do the Ken Webb tribute? I mean, yeah. David Webb. Thanks. But yeah, man, hanging out and just understanding here we are now, and the Funk Chronicles Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center, Dayton, Ohio, which is kind of right around in the same 200-mile radius of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. But everybody that you want to know, you can look them up, and I'll put that information on the bottom. You can look them up, and Slave, Lakeside, all the Parliament Funkadelic members, the Isley Brothers, all of the funk heroes and people that have laid it that aren't in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame are in there. And that's the beauty of us going in. What'd you say, Mark? You don't see what, son? Hold on 1 second. That's the beauty of it. I don't see that one, but I will find it. Give me a minute. Oh, yeah, that's the one where the audio tribute. The audio tribute that we're going to play that he sent. But yeah, so when him and I started vibing last year, and I started understanding what he was doing and starting supporting his thing up in Ohio, I was trying to get everybody to understand, like, this is coming directly from him. He started this thing. Like Dr. Brooks started his thing. Like, Pat, you started your thing and everybody else. So I was trying to get people to say, well, if you don't see them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, this is where they're going to be, And I watched the interviews, and he did one with me during the COVID year, and I was grateful for that. And that's when I was able to first tell my story and eventually let him know, like, listen, the foundation, yes, was me, but these are the people that actually did it. These are the people that made the music. And I knew one day this would happen. We just had to wait to the 20-year mark. So now it's the 22-year brand. So now, boom, we can slide in there. And I'm grateful, man. Pearl, tell us your thoughts on Carlton passing.
Man, that's
everybody else can join in too. Please.
I said, man, it's a drag because, he was really the youngest of us. So, like you just never expect it to go down. But, as far as his, he was committed to trying to make the situation go further. I mean, he had moved to Atlanta, and he was still like engaged in, you know, conversations with, yo, how can we do this and how can we do that, and what do I need to do to, you know, further the situation. You know, we had kind of spread out. So he was, you know, he was engaged. He was engaged in that beyond.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick story, and then Mark's going to jump on with this. But Carlton, John, and I actually did the festival 3 years ago before he got sick again. But we actually did it, and John Purvis too. You guys couldn't make it because everybody was busy, and Pat, you couldn't make it. It was you know
Yeah.
the timing was all wrong. But
Yeah.
you know, we actually did the Crab Fest, man, and I'm grateful to this day that he was able to get there, because now looking back, I gave his family a video copy of what we had did that day at his funeral. Kev, your thoughts on Carlton?
Yeah, I would guess that I knew him the least amount of time. I'm assuming I did. But you know, being that we had kids, we always had something to talk about. You know, outside of music, you know, so we would always, you know, ask about the families and stuff like that. I didn't know how young he was at the time. That I didn't know, because the only time I got to see Carlton was on stage. So, you know, he was a great cat to play with. That I definitely enjoyed, you know, because every bass player had their own thing about them, their own groove with me. And yeah, it's again to hear that. I mean, you know, people die every second. You know, how many people have died since we've been on this conversation? But that sometimes you're just not expecting to hear things, man.
Yeah.
And when I heard that he passed, I don't know, it just, yeah, I don't know. It was like, you know, one of the army just left. It was strange. Even though, you know, I hadn't seen Carlton since Funky Fish.
Wow.
You know?
Wow.
That was, yeah, that one was that one was hard.
Yeah. Pat, you have any thoughts?
I kind of feel like Carlton played with us maybe at Funky Fish.
Yeah.
One. But he was playing with the band when I was there, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
but I think
you was in, yeah, he was. You played with him for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, he was just so quiet.
Yes.
But then he'd get up there and it was like, oh, you know, because I played bass for a while, but I always was like in awe of everybody who played bass, you and Gary and, you know, everybody. And he was, yeah, it's just so, again, it felt like, even though we weren't super close or anything, it felt like sad to hear that one of the Funk Army was gone and way too young, you know, way too young. So,
yeah. Eric J?
Yeah, I feel basically the same way. I didn't realize that Carlton was that young. You know, and it's like when you see one of your brothers that you want to stay with, and you know, always look over, he's right there, and then, you know, to hear that he ain't gonna be there no more, even if the situation came back together, you know, it's kind of tough, man.
Yeah, I know we had a question. Doc Funk, can you explain what the Nappy Heads are? Basically, the name started from people, my cousins and everybody that was lit when I was little, telling me I had a nappy head. They'd be like, "Oh boy, comb your nappy head," you know, because I was a cross in between the afro and good hair, so I had that in between stuff, you know, and I couldn't really grow an afro right. And they used to always say, "Boy, comb your nappy head," So I always kept that name, and even growing up, like, you know, I would kind of like just write that name around. And then when I started the band, I needed a name. When Craig and John would say, "Hey, what's the name of the band?" I got to put it on one of those flyer things. So I said, Nappy Head, right? It just was a natural thing. And then one day we were playing at the Funky Fish. And this is what happened, because if y'all remember, we were originally just called Nappy Head. At the Funky Fish, some kid was in the corner that used to hang on that right side. And he'd be like, "Yo, man, y'all got a Funk Army." And that night, the next gig, I changed it to the Nappy Head Funk Army. You know,
Cool.
because we're gonna tell our funky fish stories in a minute. But Mark, you ready, man? Can you run that tribute, please, sir? Thank you.
Hi, this
Mark
is
Lee, my
David
producer,
Webb,
got his hands full
founder
today.
and CEO of the Funk Music Hall of Fame and Exhibition Center, DBA The Funk Center, and the executive producer of the Dayton Scene Radio Show. I would like to recognize and honor the legacy of one of the most funkiest underground bands of all time. They are called the Nappy Head Funk Army. Let's applaud this band as they continue to keep funk music alive for generations to come. Their leader, Zach Roberson, who is also the Vice President of Club Funketeer Ambassadors for Bootsy and Peppermint Patty Collins. Zach started his band in 1998 at a George Clinton's birthday party, and his band is still active today. The Nappy Head Funk Army's funky brand of music is the new generation of funk. I applaud their energy and their contribution to funk music. I wish them much success and thank you for keeping funk music alive.
Yo, bravo, y'all.
Cool.
I got to see it. That's an amazing
cool.
thing that we're still here to do it, man. Mark, could you show some of those photos now, please, sir? We're gonna reminisce a little bit, stroll down memory lane and see how skinny everybody was.
That's awesome.
I'm trying to tell you now. That's funny, right?
Eric J.
Eric J. still the same size.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, no doubt. I'll wait, man.
Cool. There we go. I remember that gig with on the left there where you're wearing that the fringe fringe vest.
Yeah, I had that for years.
Wait a minute, that he's sitting on a drum stool?
He's sitting on a chair or something. I don't know.
That Ainsley always sits on a chair. He didn't like a drum stool.
I can't see the back of it though. That's why I'm like, what? Not him sitting on the drum stool.
I love the outfit.
Designated hitter.
Like Richard Pryor said, when you want, if you go off, go all the way.
Right. I think this was the Elbow Room, right?
I remember that place. Wow.
Because I remember the bouncer's head, that tall black guy right there with his back turned.
Yeah.
He used to come up there and dance at the end, be doing all kinds of... Gotta love New York, though. You gotta love New York, man. I think that was the Elbow Room, too, but I'm not sure. Mark, go to the next. There you go.
Oh,
Now, see, that's what. Hold on for this one for a minute. Funky Tim and Pat.
Tim, yeah. I still have both of those hats.
Classic.
But that blue hat, oh my God, it would lock the heat in and just be like over.
And I remember Pearl said, what's his name? And I said Tim. So forever then, Pearl was calling him Funky Tim.
Funky Tim.
Funky Tim. He's doing all right still. I stay in touch with him on Facebook. You know, he plays here and there. I think he was playing on Long Island with Clem's band. And John Willis was in that band for a while, I think. But he had switched to keyboards.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he had switched to keyboards, yeah. Next, Mark. That's the one, Eric J, I was telling you about.
Okay.
The end of the era.
Of the Elbow Room?
Yes.
Okay.
Because you was always the last one to get paid. You would have paid you last. You would always wait because everybody else had to go. So I'd be like, all right, I get to you. You was always so patient, bro. You was like, yeah, no worries. You go grab a drink and whatever.
Yeah.
And then you and I would be picking up the frags off the floor because I was telling everybody before y'all got on, Pat and Kevin Pearl, we used to shoot those parachutes and all the crap we used to throw out there.
Yeah.
And the lady at the elbow room used to say, you guys are great, but you make a mess. I got to sweep all this stuff up all night. Good times, man. Oh, my God, good times.
Word up.
There you go.
Yeah, I still have that hat. That's a great hat.
That's your photo for the collage Hall of Fame.
Excellent. Good shot.
I got you. See, now that's mean. That's badass. Hold up, Mark. That's totally badass right there. Totally. That's like
I'm still badass. I just gotta get back to being more badass.
I think you still got it. I think once we all hit the stage together, that should have popped back like riding a bike. Because right funny, there, that says Funk Hall of Famer.
And right it was a lot of fun, but I think my voice actually even sounds better, but we'll see.
We'll see.
We get it. We get it.
That's the Funky Fish.
Yeah.
I had to give away my that canteen. Somebody took it. Used to piss me off. They always wanted shit. Prez is still mad at me for giving away that purple hat, even though I made another one. And he said, "Man, you could have gave it to me." And I was like, the girl wanted it. Remember, we used to have the blow up aliens.
Aliens, yeah.
And they used to take them. The one girl begged me that night to take the big one. I didn't mind the little ones, but she wanted the big one. I only had two. So I was like, all right, you know what? If it makes your night, take it. And everybody was mad. My ex was mad. Why you do that? I was like, she wanted it. What are you going to do? Wow. Crazy. I remember her, that girl in the middle, because it's Cynthia, obviously.
Yeah.
But her and her boyfriend used to come to every gig.
Yeah. Yeah, they were riders.
Yeah. They was like, yo, we ain't missing y'all. I don't care where y'all play. We're going to be there. Port Jazz, Funky Fish. They was at all those Long Island festivals when we did them. They came to every single one, man. I'll never forget them. I used to stay in touch back then with the whole mailing list thing.
Oh, that's a good one.
I know that Pearl, Neil, John, Pat, the captain I used to work with, Maurice, Gary, me, and David Brooks. I'm guessing that was downstairs somewhere, right? Or at the
end. I don't remember where it was.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
have those photos, and I don't remember where they're from.
Yeah, I don't know where that was from. I have no idea. All I know is Pearl being Pearl, laying back laughing. And Brooks got in there. He totally photobombed. Kudos, David Brooks, for photobombing, bro. Here's our guy right here, man.
Awesome.
We're going to take a minute. Yeah, man. Here's our guy right here.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, he was a true soldier, boy.
Carlton, you a Funk Hall of Famer now, bro. Kudos. And the one thing I always dug about Carlton, when he played his parts, it was like every note was supposed to be where it was supposed to be. That's what he had that made him the gifted musician that he was. I never had to look back at him and wonder what he was doing, because I always knew he was doing what he was supposed to be doing, because he had that it factor, and he loved Skeet. So that day he said, "Yeah, man, I love Skeet." I was like, "You're in." Wasn't even like, it was like, get in. That's your slot, you know.
Skeet played with Maceo out here, I think. Didn't I talk to you about that? Oh, that was so. I was like, jaw on the floor. Amazing.
Yeah. We love you, Carlton. We'll see you soon, bro. That's when I was actually on drugs, but that's Neil.
There it is.
That's that place that we used to record videos at, I think.
A studio, maybe? Or
No. It was in New York City.
That's the
Where's that at, Eric J?
elbow room.
The elbow room?
Yeah.
Okay.
They videotape shows there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I don't know who was on guitar. I'm guessing, or bass. I'm guessing it probably was Gary. But remember, we used to use that white kid Vince too sometimes.
Yeah, I remember Vince. I was in another band with Vince years ago.
Yeah. How's Vince doing?
Oh man, I haven't talked to that cat in years, man. I'm
Mark,
too busy. I'm stuck in the train yard, dog.
Don't worry, we're gonna be writing songs about that. And this was down by the ocean. This is the day, Kev, you couldn't make this photo shoot. Right. I remember.
Mm-hmm.
But you were supposed to be in this one.
That hat, though, Zach.
That's the one that Prez is mad at me that I gave away. He's still mad at me. Sorry, Prez. The girl wanted the hat. Like, to me, the hats are cool as shit, but to me, they just like, they take it, you know? It's like, here, take it. Because I'm in the moment. I regret it later.
Yeah.
But in the moment, you're like, yeah, you want some of my, take it.
Yeah. Carlton again.
I posted that, I think his family gave me permission on Facebook. Because I had sent them photos that I had. We love you, Carlton. Go to the next one, Mark. Dope. That's Carlton again. Now that's at the Funky Fish.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys did video and stuff for a while too. Like you did videos and I was already out by that point, but like just doing other things. Oh, look at you.
Yes, Prez used to let me play Red Hot Mama. Because it was only 2 notes. Da-da. That's what happened. Yo, but I got credibility. Keyboard credibility. I was playing 2 notes, da-da. Go to the next one, Mark.
Some repeats.
There's one that I got a side view of Kev that's like really dope. That was at that place that John and Joan met. In like on the other side of Wine Dance.
What was that place?
Eastport or Northport?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Go down, Mark, a little bit more. That one in the middle right there underneath Carlton with Kev on the side, right there. No, the next one the one next to it. That's the typical Kev, the technician. I love that shot because it says it all. You hold the whole thing down. Now I don't know where this was. Was this in the basement of Wetlands?
No, that was another spot in Long Island. I don't remember the name of that spot, but it was on out here in Long Island somewhere.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because me and Eric showed up at that gig first, and we both came in the club there was nobody there, and the two of us walked in with trench coats, and we like scared the patrons of the club. So we came to stick the joint up, man.
Yo, that's funny. That's funny. Next, Mark. Yeah, I just had to get that one in, Kev. Because, see, a lot of the shots, they're going to be in the collage. But I wanted to spend some time and reminisce a little bit about these. I don't know why that's sideways. But you don't get no points off production today, Mark, because you're doing a good job. Gary, I did text him earlier. You know, in his heyday when he was holding it down, he was another original OG. you know.
On the bass, yeah.
With Gary, he was always technically sounding good, you know. He that's all he did. He lived, sleep, eat, think, break, bass. And even now, when I talk to him, he told me at last count he got like 18 bass guitars. That's it. Because every year he buys a new guitar.
I was gonna say I always see his pictures of them and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, right. Every
Nice
year,
one.
boom, here's a new bass. Here's a new bass.
Mm.
That's my dog. Love you, Gary. All right, you can close these out, Marcus. I want to talk about something else while we got a little bit of time left. Thank you, bro. And of course, you can jump on at the end and, you know, jam it with us a little bit. But while we're here chatting, right, your favorite memory, and we're going to go around or whatever, you know, and Eric, I'll let you go first since you was here, Eric J. What's your favorite memory?
Oh, there's a lot, but I think one night we played La Bar Bat. And it's like,
the Bar Bat! Wow!
Remember that club? Yeah.
we played there 2 times I can remember. But one time we played and my mother was there, and one of the guy that helped raise me when I was like 3 years old, 3 years old, he was there, and people from my neighborhood was there, and they just had a ball while we played. And I remember another time we played there at La Bar Bat that we came on after KC and JoJo. And them cats, and them cats didn't want to give up the stage.
We actually opened for them.
Huh?
We opened for them.
We
opened for them because they came up and did a tune with us.
You know, that's right. They could tear the roof off the sucker.
Yeah, They came up and did a tune with us. Yeah, because they were performing there that night, so it was about them. But we opened for them, and they came up because they kept standing out there, was grooving. And Zach said, "Yo, y'all want to come up?" And they came up and did a tune with us.
Okay.
Wow. See, I totally forgot about our La Bar Bat era with 98.7 Kids. Yeah. Okay. See, This is why you watch this show. Y'all out there in the audience. This is the shit that happened. Yo, La Bar Bat.
Yeah, I haven't heard that name in forever. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we played there. And just about, I think my favorite time at the Funky Fish was the 4th anniversary of Nappy Head. That night was like just a total party up in it.
Yeah. Wow. I'm still freaked out about La Bar Bat though. I'm serious, bro. That took me that like you know what I'm saying? That took me someplace.
The Bar Bat was our usual crowd. It was more like a WBLS crowd.
Yeah, but you know what? They played our tune in their ad.
Oh, really?
I forgot which one it was.
Wow.
I think it was Dirty Vamp. Because they played it. Because remember 98.7 Kiss and that lady, Wendy Williams, used to do the hosting. Now it's all coming back to me. Yeah. Wow, La Bar Bat, man. That's Kev. That's worth the gold in this show right there. To say that, Casey and JoJo. Yeah. Amazing, man. Yo, Mark. Yeah, run. Oh, go ahead, Eric J.
And I remember one of the craziest nights we had was at the Fish when the power went out.
Yes.
And we kept the groove going, and it came back in. The power turned back in on the 1.
Yes. I remember that because we kept them chanting.
Yeah.
Funny.
Whole time.
Yeah, that night was electric.
And it was out at least 10 minutes.
Yes, it was.
Was I there for that? I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think I was there, yeah.
But it was, that's right. It was out a long time.
Yeah, we kept the crowd chanting, and I had the maracas going, and Tanya had the tambourine going, and then all of a sudden the lights and the system came on at the same time, right on the 1, like bam.
See, that was the mothership right there. That was because you know one thing about the band, we used to play in snowstorms. Remember the time we did New Year's Eve and it was a blizzard?
Yeah.
We still made it. Yo, and on time. That's why I never want to hear about bands being late, members being late. I told them my band in New York, all 9 of us, 8 of us used to make it in a blizzard on time. Early even, you know. Yo, Mark, yo, Kev, what's your favorite memory? Or one of them?
One of them was what Eric J just said, as far as the Funky Fish goes. Because when the power just went out, I kept playing and we just kept it going. And I remember they was looking all outside, like the whole area was out.
Yeah.
We just kept doing it. And when the power came back on and we came back in like it was planned, even homeboy that was the owner, even he was jumping up in the back. They just started going crazy.
Yeah. That was an amazing moment.
Yeah. That probably was for the Funky Fish. That was like, I'm sure they all talk about that.
Yes, that's a lifetime memory right there.
But I would have to say, and again because of the sound, was Downtime. I don't know why we didn't get invited back, but I think because we came there, we put the fear in them, they didn't know who we were. Like we always open, and every band after us was like, "Oh man, what do we do?" You know, and like I say, when we opened for Living Color, they was shaking.
Yo, Kev, I remember after we came off the stage, off of our set, and we hit the dressing room, Vernon and them was like, "Oh, y'all want us to work for our money tonight?"
Yeah,
they did. Cool. They were very gracious about that. They said that. They was like, "Y'all right there."
Yeah, we ain't take no prisoners that night. I'm like, yeah, we should have been there opening act after that.
Yeah.
Seriously. Because we had our own material, so but that night I was like, and that makes a difference when the sound is right with that band. Yeah, it don't matter who else is on the shoulders.
Yeah, that's right. See, and that was because we had gotten to that pocket, because playing the place we used to play, some of them was like rehearsal. It was nobody, Kev and I talked about the story where the bartender, she said, "Wow, man, they all missed it. Nobody was here."
Right. That was enough. And that was one that really showed the character of the band.
Yeah.
Like, for the owner to go, he was like, "Man, I can't believe," he said they missed it, and they couldn't believe that we played like we did and nobody was there.
Yeah.
And the respect that he had. Because even like you said, the bartender was like, "Wow, I've never seen that before."
Yeah.
Y'all act like it was a full house.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Zach, we a drummer. I'm going, "Oh, you think I'm gonna set all this up and not play?"
Exactly.
You gonna set this equipment up? You doing right? Even if we just playing for ourselves.
Yeah. See, that's when I knew we was in love with each other as far as a family, because only a family would do that to that level of like it's a packed house and it's empty. Oh, and we did that more than once. We did it a lot. It happened a lot, man. But then, like you said, and the universe, yes, exactly. That's how we was getting tight and working on stuff. Because I would always come back to the next rehearsal like, "Listen, this chant is going in now. Let's do this." Because I would be listening to what y'all were playing. You were also amazing. I was like writing songs all the time in my head and chants, because based off the music, because the music was here, the vocals had to always like keep up with it, because y'all was crushing it. There was times when literally I had to whip y'all down. I'll tell my favorite story after Pat. Pat, go ahead.
That's funny. I remember playing gigs like that with Daughter Judy, where you played even though there was nobody in the room, and then we get that same response. It was fun. Where the bartenders or the club owner would be like, "Hey, thank you for doing that, because we enjoyed it." Like, they really dug it. But for Nappy Head, I don't know. It might have been that 3-hour show at Kenny's. And I just remember just like bouncing the whole time. We did that thing where we would jump up and down. And then also there was the cruise. We did a boat cruise. God. And I think Neil wasn't Neil on the boat cruise too?
Neil was drunk.
That was
Glenn Goins' brother, Kevin Goins, was drunk.
yeah.
I was so pissed. Boy,
And I was
oh
like,
boy.
help! Like, but that was fun. That was a fun gig, and I had to do the
That was fun,
Dramamine
all
before.
right.
That was fun. That was crazy.
I
but
wanted
fun.
to take a flamethrower to them.
And then we also did. I think Funky Fish. I remember one when I don't know why, but like the guy, it was after Daughter Judy broke up, and I was singing with you guys at Funky Fish, and for some reason the guys from Daughter Judy were there, and then maybe their new band or something, and they were hanging out, and it was just the crowd at Funky Fish always loved us. So I remember that, and people would just dance, and then I was like, I want to be in a band and get an act that really makes everybody dance. Like, I mean, Daughter Judy was kind of rock and whatever, but I really loved when people would just, shake it while we were singing and playing. And it was a lot of fun there.
Very inspirational. Wow. See, this is why I wanted to do this show, man, because I had forgotten all of this stuff.
The cruise.
The cruise. And I don't even swim. I didn't even like water. I had no business out there. And when we was coming in the dock, remember the shit was rocking like that?
Oh, God. Yeah, I was so sick by the end of it.
They showed up drunk, bro.
Yeah.
Not just like tipsy.
No, they
Eddie
were gone.
Hazel's mother was there. Right?
Yes.
He came on it, right? And we were supposed to be playing Maggot Brain. We was trying to play Maggot Brain, and they were singing Mothership Connection.
And he'd come up,
and the whole
like,
set got screwed up. I was so pissed. Believe it or not, and I love them both dearly because I have seen them.
Funny.
And I actually played with Kevin like at the Funketeers Ball a couple years ago. So Kevin is dope. Neil is dope. I love y'all. But I fired y'all the next day. I called them up. I was like, y'all out. Out. Can we? No, out. But we didn't. Out. The next day. But my favorite memory, and I'm going to keep it short because we got some videos to show, is when I first brought in Atomic Dog. It's a 2-part memory, right? Right? So we was in rehearsal, right? And as soon as it dropped, Pearl hit the floor. Bang! He just fell on the floor, right? And I was like, oh, I can see now what this is going to be about. So we played it the first time at the Funky Fish, right? And remember the girl Vera?
Yeah.
You remember Vera? That's your family somewhere in there? I went to school with her. And her friend came, right? And we playing, and we always worked the song a long time before we did lyrics if it was new so we could get the groove. That's why them songs were so long.
Yeah.
And we started hitting it. And when it got to that part where I would invite, remember, if y'all remember, there was always a time so all the girls come on stage.
Yes.
Right? They all come on stage, right? And it's a 3-part vocal song. Yeah. 3 parts. That means a rack here, and a rack here, right? We sing it, and all of a sudden, as we groove it and more vocals are dropping out. Right? I look around, Eric J, John Willis, Pearl, and I was singing 3 parts by myself. Everybody was Atomic Dog. And then the girl took off her bra. Threw it up there, Vera. Took off her bra. And it was like, click. And I was like, all right. I see now what George was doing. I said, we have mastered something right here. I said, because when we made people do that and the band itself became interactive with the audience and started jamming and forgot all the vocal parts, and I'm singing all 3 parts by myself, I was like, these people. I was like, this is why I love them. Eric J, we lost you, bro. But yeah, we're going to show these videos, man. Mark, you back there, bro? We're hanging out with the OGs, Nappy and Folk Army OGs, man. It's all good. Yes, sir. Oh, Eric Wilson left and came back.
Oh, he came back.
Well, if he comes back, I'll get him in. Yeah, I'll get him in. We got some stuff to show here. But I'll never forget that night. Everybody was Atomic Dog, and I was singing all 3 parts. I looked around, nobody was singing. We got Eric J back. This has been an amazing show, man. Thank you for sharing this journey. Mark, we ready with the videos, bro? Mark is I'm looking at him now. He's producing another show at the same time. But the Funky Fish was that was our home, wouldn't you say?
I was gonna say all the gigs there were like it was like home. It was like fun when I played with you guys. Yeah, for sure.
But Kev brought up one, man, and Eric J. LaBar bat. That's like.
I remember the logo from their flyer with the bat in the middle of the bar bat. Yeah, it was like,
Yeah, yes.
Where was that place? What street was that on? It was in the city, right? In Manhattan.
In the middle of New York.
57th.
Okay.
57th.
Oh, 57th. Okay.
You trying to get back in?
Right next to I believe that was Media Sound Studios.
Okay, I saw you down there, so I pull you up.
I believe it was Media Sound where Luther used to record at.